And we are live. Welcome back to another video of ZGN Talks. And today we will be talking about why social media is costing you a lot of money, but most importantly, time. Roll the intro. So hey guys, welcome back. And pretty much over the past 3 years of experience of starting and growing businesses, there was a point in my life when I was on social media a lot, and I'm sure you can relate to that.
Yes.
And it just caused a lot of unnecessary problems. If you want to kick it off with that.
Yeah, so Mitch and I kind of wrote out this document. We keep like a running document or running Google Sheets that I like to keep rolling. It basically goes through all the different phases we've gone to get to the point where we are. And a lot of those phases actually consist of a lot of distractions like shiny object syndrome and just doing too much research where you don't take action. And I think that's one of the ways that social media can kind of stagnate your growth and stagnate your development in business.
And going off that, so I remember creating my first social media account, which was Facebook, when I believe I was 12 years old, and I would just post pictures of myself, playing tennis, basketball, just hang out. I'd get a new pair of shoes, I would post it. Absolutely useless, but in my 12 through 15-year-old,
flexing all the haters
exactly.
in middle school, dude.
In my entire 12 through 15-year-old mind, I was like, oh, dude, look at me getting all this stuff, living all these experiences. People are gonna think I'm all that, right? And we pretty much just use social media as consumers. We would post stuff we're doing. We would mainly go and constantly scroll, see what other people are doing. And it was literally bringing us zero benefit. And I wouldn't say that. I'd say over the past 2 years, when we turned 17, is when we really started shifting our mindset to utilizing these platforms more as consumers.
Yeah. So pretty much, I think some platforms are obviously better than others. Like for instance, Instagram and Facebook are, I don't think personally, as intellectually stimulating as something like Twitter, where you can follow a lot of like really interesting people and see what they're tweeting about and all that good stuff. But yeah, I think we just found over the past couple of years that we would just get distracted on Instagram. We're doing some tasks. We look down our phone, boom, there. Next thing you know, like an hour is gone. I think we've done a really good job at, kind of cutting out social media for the most part. I think I still spend like an hour and a half a day on my phone on social media. But for the most part, that's a big step down from where we were in high school and middle school. And, differing from other people, we kind of grew up perfectly in the age of social media. Facebook came out, we were like we were young and in middle school, I think. And, we kind of saw all the different social media channels come to full fruition, essentially.
Yeah, and before I handed off the mic to Emiliano, I accidentally said consumers instead of producers. What I meant to say was producers. And I'd say when we really became producers was we already made a video about this when we started flipping Instagram pages. And when we started doing that was when we really realized, whoa, these platforms could actually make us a good amount of money. And no longer did I really have the urge to go and be like, what are my friends doing? Look through stories, see what this person is eating, who this person is hanging out with. Because at the end of the day, I don't really know these people on a tight-knit level like that. And then it beats me what these people are doing throughout the day. What I'm starting to think about more is how do I create a global reach or even national reach on the type of product that I'm starting to sell. And that is where the actual advertisements come into play, because we've learned with Facebook ads, you're able to run ads on Instagram. Now we're slowly starting to learn Google ads.
Yep.
And it's pretty ridiculous how many people you could reach at a very, very low cost, obviously, if you know how to properly run them.
Yep. So we've been really experimenting, like Mitch said, with Google ads, and we've really shift our mentality from being consumers of a platform to being more producers. Obviously, still do consume a little bit, but for the most part, we kind of more on the producing content side rather than just clicking and liking and all that good stuff.
Yeah. And kind of segueing into the point of how social media, first off, is costing you a lot of time. Well, so many people and I've personally, so I still sometimes suffer from this.
Yeah.
Like I'll be working on the laptop, I'll see my phone on the side, I'll just randomly pick it up, scroll through Instagram, put it down, 5 minutes later, just do it again.
Yep.
And I think, and this is something many people suffer from, including myself, and it's that, craving for instant gratification and just not being fully used to thinking long-term instead of short-term.
Yep. Check your usage, guys, on your phone. Very easy. Google it. You can see exactly what you're doing every moment of the day.
I was kind of forced to pretty much set myself a warning. So pretty much whenever I'm on it, I think I have between Instagram and Snapchat combined, I have it set at an hour per day. And once I hit that, I no longer go on it. So I try limiting my use to around 5 minutes per hour. I think you also started doing that.
Yep.
But one platform where I do not limit it on is YouTube, because I literally stopped watching TV.
Yep.
Almost never. unless I'm watching basketball, a soccer game, maybe a movie once in a while. No, most of my time is spent on YouTube just watching info-based videos.
Yep. I think YouTube and Twitter, based off the content you consume, I think those are really beneficial platforms. I think stuff like Instagram and Facebook and Snapchat are kind of more of, I would say, negative overall for development and business growth.
Because you've seen how social media has changed your life over the past few years. When you first started, taking yourself now versus a few years ago to when you were using social media much more as a consumer while now you're using it as a producer, what would you tell or what do you wish you would have done differently with social media, say 5 to 7 years ago when you first really started using it?
First of all, I wish I switched over to producer faster because those sweet Facebook and Google ads were dirt cheap, dirt cheap. So that's the main. I wish I started running ads. I know the ad platform wasn't as, I guess, developed back then, but I really think if we started running ads back then, we'd be at a completely different place now.
Even I remember when we were using Shopify, ads were much cheaper when we started doing it 2.5 to 3 years ago than they are now, because now we end up running ads to our pages.
Yep.
We run them a lot to our Instagram pages, and we see how the cost of engagement ads has gone up. I'd say it's gone up at least 2 times. Obviously, when you optimize it, your pixels optimized, you have the right audience in place, and you kind of rinse and repeat the process, then the cost overall goes down, economies of scale.
Yep.
But we've noticed that huge price increase. And yes, that is definitely something I could relate to. I wish that if we learned Facebook ads when we were 12 and 13 years old, would have definitely had a lot more knowledge.
We'd be absolute monsters, dude.
Yeah, dude. I think a lot of people could definitely speak for that.
Yeah.
Something that I'd say I personally would have done is I spent a lot of time on social media looking at memes, watching all of these funny videos.
The iFunny app and all that funny stuff.
Yeah, dude. I used to make memes on that, and they were not that funny. I'd get like 20 to 30 likes and always be pissed off on not getting more.
I remember that in the middle school days.
Exactly.
Too.
And dude, it was kind of it's a time waster if you really think about it.
Yeah.
Like, I'd also say that the level of depression that people has definitely gone up since social media.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we kind of talked about, being a producer versus being a consumer, but, we talked about like the negative of the platform. I think we should also talk about, there is times where people are watching the right stuff and they're lessening their input of like the bad negative stuff on social media, but I feel like that also sometimes entails different type of problem to where you just keep collecting knowledge and you never actually like take action or execute on what you learned. Yeah. If you want to elaborate on that.
So pretty much that's what I love a lot about YouTube. So with YouTube, I watch a lot of info-based videos, such as investing, real estate, social media growth, digital marketing, whatever I want to watch. And then when I go back onto the platform, I get videos recommended because of SEO on that topic. So say I'm already interested about something, I'm able to go on the platform and I already get hit with video suggestions of that sort of topic. While on Instagram, if I go on the main page, then I'm pretty much just seeing only the people that I follow, and only if I go onto the explore page that I'm really able to see what's recommended to me. But then again, it doesn't have as good of an SEO as YouTube does.
Yeah, I feel like YouTube's a lot more organic traffic. But kind of what I'm getting at is a way that social media can affect someone really negatively, even if you're watching the same exact content, is, for instance, if you're watching like SMA or like how to run ads on Facebook, some people just watch these videos all day long and never actually try running ads themselves. If that's just one example of what I'm trying to talk about.
I definitely say that if you're struggling for something in your life, whether you want to travel but you can't, or you're trying to grow your business to certain numbers and figure out advertisements but you can't, you get really stuck on other people's social media platforms, watching them succeed at what you're not able to, and you kind of waste your time and energy watching them succeed, because in a sense, watching them succeed gives you the thinking that you'll be able to succeed too, but you never end up taking action because deep down inside you're scared. And I definitely think that's a whole
psychological.
Exactly. That's definitely a psychological problem that social media, it just ends up taking over people's mind, and it takes away the risk.
There also think people tend to only put their success or their wins on social media. No one ever shows them like losing money if you're into business or anything like that. So like you see people like big guys in space, like like Grant Cardone or a couple other guys, and they only really shows like all the W's they have. They really show like when they take a loss and really talk about stuff like that, because sometimes it's bad for business for them.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, everyone on social media is a marketer. they're only showing the best parts of their life. And even just being fully transparent with us, we show our travels, we show the results we get, but very rarely do we show the other 90%
We didn't show
that
that
actually.
$1 million hold that one time
Oh, that
on
was
one of our
horrible.
bank
Yeah.
accounts.
For those that haven't seen that, no, many of these people probably haven't
Yeah,
followed
probably
us a
come
year
from
ago.
Instagram.
But at one point, we had a business bank account, and we ended up sending a $25,000 wire, and
We
us
asked
being
them ahead of time too.
exactly.
Don't
So
forget that.
this was with Bank of America. Bank
Yep.
of America.
Oh,
We
yeah.
bank with Chase now. Personally, I bank with my personal account is with B of A, but
Same.
business Chase. B of A, why'd you do this like that? Pretty much, we were 18 years old, so Bank of America definitely got sketched out by that. This was for one of our e-com businesses. We sent a $25,000 wire, and then it ended up going through, but B of A put a complete pause on our account, and they ended up putting our account in debt, negative $888,000, and we're gonna put a screenshot right here for you guys to see. I remember opening that account.
Dude, I had like a heart attack. You texted me, dude. And the crazy thing was, we actually, when we walked into that bank to open the account like a couple weeks earlier, I went in there and I was like, yo, the main reason for this account is one of the first transactions we're gonna do, we're gonna transfer 25 grand. Is that okay? And they're like, yeah, sure, no issue. And the second we do it, boom, like giant, like 900,000, almost $1 million hold in the account.
And
it's
guess
just-
what? Guess whose name is blacklisted from ever doing business with B of A? This guy
On business,
on
at
their
least.
black.
I still have a personal account, but they closed the business account. I think they said I'm no longer allowed to open, but I don't care.
Yeah, I
they
mean-
gave us like, no, I like, if you ever get us on I love your guys' personal programs. Not a fan of the business one.
And one of my favorite personal credit cards is the B of A Cash Rewards card. Absolutely love the card, no problems. But like, what could you have possibly done
I
as an
don't know.
18-year-old
I don't know.
to get blacklisted from doing business with Bank of America?
Apparently, $25,000 wire. Apparently, that's
Dude, they
it.
love money going
And
in
then
that
they
out.
sent, and then what was super annoying is when they deactivate and put the $1 million hold, and so we still had money in the account, but they had to send the check to us physically, so we didn't have access to that money for how, I think it was like 2 weeks or something. They had
No,
to
I
like
think
ship
it took
it.
at least a month.
Month. Yeah, that was ridiculous. So they took the money, their remaining money in the account, and they said, we tried calling them. They're like, yeah, we don't want to talk to you guys. You guys are banned. Like, get lost. And then there's like, and we were like, all right, well, when can we get the rest of our money in the account? Like, there's a couple grand in there. Like, we want that. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna, ship it to you. You'll get there when we get there. So we got like a month later, and they sent us a check. So we had to go a month without like all that money. I think there was I don't remember exactly, but I remember it was probably definitely over 5K, which is not like huge money, but it's still enough to be like, yo, like I want that.
I'd say that's definitely one of the problems we ended up posting on social
Yeah.
media. But that was more for the laughs.
That wasn't really a loss per se, but that was like just showing a negative, almost $1 million on social media. Some people must have been like, "What?"
we knew that we weren't gonna lose that money.
Oh, we knew we weren't going to lose it, but a lot of people are scared to post stuff like that, even showing anything negative, because they're just scared of the backlash.
But kind of going back to the point, how many people use it for their best highlights. Most people don't show 90%. For example, when it comes to growing a business,
Yep.
90% is just running into problems and solving these problems, and these problems literally come out of nowhere. Guys, when you get into business and start growing it, you watching this, there will be problems, but the problems that do occur are problems that you will least expect.
Yeah. And I feel like we put a lot of our success, like our main successes, Shopify, Slight Profit, when Instagram, eBay, Amazon, between those different types of businesses, we did have a couple failures as well. Like we tried doing SMA, lost a couple $1,000s on that, mainly due to business partners, stuff like that. But I feel like we personally, like we were kind of guilty of this a little bit too. We never really showed that failure or any of the other little failures
Exactly.
we had. We only kind of showed the stuff that ended up really working really well.
And even on eBay and Amazon, there have been multiple shipments
Yep.
or inventory that we would buy where we would lose money, but
Yep.
we never really show that
That's
because
how it
that
goes.
every single business owner goes through losses. In fact, goes through more losses than wins when the wins do hit their big.
Yeah, I would say that.
And that pretty
overall.
much gets a compensation for the losses. So I'd say that's one of the main things on social media. People show the best parts of their life, and that gets the viewers sort of stuck trying to compare themselves. And there are a lot of 15, 16, 17, 18-year-olds comparing their success to that
Some
of
of the
who's
Grant
40,
Cardone or,
50,
like, someone
exactly.
old
Grant
like
Cardone,
that.
Gary Vee, I was guilty of that too. I was 16,
Yeah.
17 years old, Seeing-
why am I not a
yeah,
millionaire?
I was seeing this 35-year-old that's been in business for at least 15 years now. he has this super nice Lamborghini. I'm like, why don't I have that yet? It's been 6 months. And that's something that you have to go through the beginning phases, which we will be making a video on.
Yeah, we'll make a video
later.
on our failures and covering that in depth, and, like what
100%.
went wrong.
Yeah,
We should
going
make like a
through.
whole little series. Like,
Exactly.
I think we've had a lot of like small failures. We had like 2 or 3 that
Exactly.
were like moderate to
Because
large.
like when people are coming to this channel, we want to give you guys the full on
picture.
transparency.
Like, we're not trying to
and
be guilty of what we just talked about. pretty
Exactly.
much.
You just wanna not ruin people's expectations, because a lot of people make guarantees.
Yep.
You're gonna get, and like, don't get me wrong, get rich quick does exist, but get rich easy doesn't. And we will also be making a video on that, because yeah, get rich quick definitely does
Yeah,
exist.
100%.
You know, within a year you could create something like a really good business, and right away the demand just explodes.
Yeah, dude.
with it.
They're like, we're north of Silicon Valley. Like, we're in San Francisco. There's people that are like 5 miles that way that are like 18, just turned 18-year-old that like, you know, get a huge angel investment. Now their equity is worth like millions or $500 million. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, it exists, but it's not easy. It's not easy work,
Yeah.
dude.
So I guess overall that pretty much sums up
I would
social
really
media.
agree with that one.
Yeah. So yeah, guys, at the end of the day, use social media. I mean, some of you may not want to go into business, and that's completely fine. But be very careful with how if you're not going to use social media as a consumer, or I mean as a producer, use it very carefully if you're going to use it as a consumer, because it will play with your head. It causes many people depression. It will have you comparing yourself to other people, and especially us as human beings, we do go through tough parts of our lives at some points. It's not always a life high.
Yeah.
And that's when I'd say social media is the most dangerous, because you go on social media, you see all these people having a crazy time. You're kind of going through a tough part in your life, and you're like, oh, why aren't I having a good time like them?
It has a habit of social media. It's a habit of amplifying the success and
Exactly.
you know, not showing as many of the losses.
Exactly. So if that comes down to it, delete social media. Sometimes even if I'm just trying to focus on a business.
You had that phase. You had the phase. You
There were
deleted.
times when I'd end up spending so much time on social media, just constantly messaging with people, scrolling through posts, just seeing so much time wasted, and it started drifting my attention from actually focusing on my business. And I ended up just deleting Instagram and Snapchat for a few weeks. Or there will also be days where I'll just delete it for the whole day to purely focus. Because also I've got into this habit: when you wake up in the mornings, for the first hour, do not go on social media. There's a chemical in your brain. I completely forgot what it's called, but it pretty much, when you go on social media in the morning and you do the swiping, it kind of takes away certain endorphins that you naturally carry throughout the day, and it doesn't get you as excited or focused for the, you know, regular tasks to come later on in the day.
Yeah, guys. Also, do not forget, put your phone away at night and read those books.
And last thing you guys need to do is go ahead and smash that subscribe button. On top of that, hit the like button and comment what you thought about the video. Yes, I had to do it. And lastly,
Shameless plug.
lastly, go ahead and check out our social media platforms. We love networking and connecting with new people. Feel free to message us. We hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.